So, point and shoot film cameras. They're becoming more and more popular amongst photographers, and I think that's for two main reasons. One, they're relatively easier to use, and two, they tend to be quite cheap. Take this one, for example. This is the Konica Z-Up 110 Super, and it cost me £7. I bought it on eBay a few years ago, and it's quickly become one of my favourite cameras. Now, as I said, they're really simple to use. This is really a case of picking it up, turning it on, pointing, and then shooting. It's got very little features. It's got a flash, you can add 1.5 stops of exposure, and it's got a landscape mode and a night landscape mode. Besides that, there's not too much else you can really choose of this. It's autofocus, it detects the ISO on its own, everything is pretty much done in camera, but it's quickly become one of my favourite cameras. I take it with me everywhere because it fits in my pocket. It's very well built, so I'm never worried about it breaking, and it takes genuinely really good photos. Now, I never really ended up using this camera that much, so last year I decided to change that, and I brought it with me on a few trips that I had planned. I was going to Belgium, to England, and then to the south of France, and I thought, right, I'll throw it in my backpack and see what I can get. So I went to the airport with my Kodak Gold 200 and decided to go on a little adventure.
Breaking up is so very hard to explain. Yes, it is, baby. 'Cause I've always played a losing game. Some fellas find their rainbow, but all I ever find is a rain. Where did all my love go? Where did it go? Where did it go? Where did all my love go? Where did it go? Where did it go? I don't know. Oh, but breaking up is so very hard to explain. Yes, it is, baby. 'Cause I've always played a losing game.
So yeah, after that trip to Brussels, you can see that I only took a few pictures, and the reason for that is that that trip in particular was actually a business trip, and I had really long work days, so I never really actually had the time to go out and take pictures like I'd originally planned. That's why all the pictures, or most of them, are taken at night. And yeah, not really much to say about these pictures other than they're not my finest work by any means. This is the first time I'd used the camera in a few months, so for me it was just getting used to the camera again. But I think the photos didn't turn out that bad. I mean, there's nothing really interesting about them, but yeah, I think the camera did pretty well. Once again, it's a 200 ISO film, and I actually think that for night photographs it's not that bad. It could be way grainier. This picture that I took at the hotel, this is the view from my hotel. You could see that it's a bit blurry, and that's obviously it used a slower shutter speed, and I completely forgot about that, so I decided to move the camera. So yeah, not very professional from my behalf on that, but that's nothing wrong with the camera, that's just me not really paying attention to my surroundings. So after that trip, which wasn't very successful when it comes to photography, I decided just to use the camera around Edinburgh, which is where I live. It was a really sunny day, and I thought this would be perfect to test the camera, especially that I was using 200 ISO film, and I think that Kodak Gold 200 works best in a sort of sunny, bright environment.
Star-eyed, that to me is what your eyes are. Soft as stars in April skies are. Tell me someday they'll fulfill their longing of a thrill. Oh, star-eyed, flashing eyes in which my hopes rise. Let me show you where my heart lies. Let me prove that it adores that loveliness of yours. All my life I've felt content to stargaze at the sky. Now I only want to melt the stardust in your eyes. Oh, starlight, when if ever will my lips know that it's me for whom those eyes glow? Makes no difference where you are.
So yeah, some nice pictures in there I find. There's a couple pictures that I didn't actually edit and they look really warm and orangey, as if I'd sort of edited them to look that way, but I didn't. Now I don't know if that's probably just the lab that I used and how they ended up coming out. I tried to correct them, but I thought I'd show them straight how I got them because I'm not personally a fan. I think they really are very orange. But I think overall the quality is not bad. Keep in mind this is pretty much the cheapest Kodak film you can buy, along with a £7 camera, and you can get images like this. I mean, I would feel definitely comfortable using some of these pictures on something like a professional portfolio. I think the quality is genuinely good enough. So after that day in Edinburgh, I didn't really touch the camera for a few weeks, but then early December I went down to London with my girlfriend, and I thought I'd bring the camera with me then because I knew I'd be going out in Soho at night, and night photography has always been my favourite, and I've never been able to take pictures in London actually, so this would have been my first time. definitely some of my favourite photos, again, are from that trip to London. I think, once again, the camera did very well. But yeah, I'm pretty new to like street photography. It's not something I'm really used to, so it's definitely something I want to try and get better at as I go along as a photographer. But these are sort of my first attempts, and obviously London's a great place. There's so many cool buildings and subjects to take. So after that little trip to London, my girlfriend and I went straight down to the south of France, which is where I'm originally from. I was down there to see my mum, and south of France for me is just the perfect place to take pictures. It's so bright and sunny all the time. There's so many nice subjects, and it's just always warm and sunny, so you always want to go outside and shoot pictures. So my mum lives in the sort of busier area, the south of France, so it's like famous for all its vineyards and sort of trees and just general nice green countryside. It's sort of looks a bit Italian almost, and it's very picturesque. And that's where my girlfriend and I decided to go on a walk one day with my dog Saki, and these are probably, I know I've said this a few times now, but these are probably my favourite pictures from this entire session of this camera. found this old chapel, this old church that didn't seem to be in use. It sort of reminded me of the church from the Alfred Hitchcock film Vertigo. So I was trying to get my camera angles to sort of remind me of that film, but I didn't really manage that well. But yeah, this was definitely my favourite day of the whole trip, and I think the pictures turned out pretty nice. So yeah, I think the point of this video was for me to say that I really encourage anyone who's getting into photography, or even if you are into photography, if you don't own a cheap small point and shoot, they really are worth it, because you can just put even cheap film and you'll get good pictures. There might not be something like a Mamiya 7, but you will get some cool pictures, even if you just want to take family pictures or holiday pictures. I mean, as I've shown, some of these pictures that I believe are capable of being shown in something like a portfolio or even a bigger professional project. And that's got nothing to do with how I took the pictures. I'm talking more about the quality and how the camera reacted to light, etc. I think it's really not bad, and I think it's a lot better than, let's say, some cheap point and shoot digital cameras. So once again, the camera that I used was the Konica Z-Up 110 Super. They're still pretty cheap online now. I saw one the other day for £5 on eBay. I would definitely personally recommend it, but there's so many other models to choose from brands like Pentax, Olympus, Canon. I mean, there's so many. Now, point and shoots go from anywhere from like £5 and they go up to several £1,000. But anything from about £5 to £100 will still be a really, really good camera. And I definitely recommend getting one and trying one out for yourself. So yeah, if you like this video, please consider leaving a like, leaving a comment, subscribing, and let me know about your experiences with point and shoot cameras and which one is your favorite. And I will see you next week for another video.